Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Scorpio collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Scorpio gang in early to mid-February? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang in early to mid-February. It's Aquarius season. Let's see what's happening. What's the energy? What's the vibe for my good friends? Queen of Swords. Now, this isn't a tarot deck. It is an oracle. But this card, whenever I see her, is like straight up Queen of Swords, which could be a very good thing. It's like very honest, straightforward, and direct. But there's also an edge to this card. All right. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye. You know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this beautiful, serious, stern, divine feminine figure there. She has that awesome crown, and it looks like she is a holder of much power. So yeah, she screams Queen of Swords to me. If you're connected to an air sign, that could be it. Remember, it's not gender specific. But some of the attributes I always think of with the Queen of Swords, if we take away the zodiacal placements, she's honest, straightforward, to the point, very shrewd. She's intelligent, a good planner and strategist. So for some Scorpios, this could be an energy that you're currently in right now or stepping into for one reason or another, where she sees things, it's black and white, it's plain, it's simple, and just very intelligent and cerebral. That's the one thing I like about her. But as mentioned, she does have an edge. Sometimes the Queen of Swords can be a little too serious. Sometimes she could be a little too shrewd. Sometimes she could be angry or mean, very sharp tongued. It's like, I'm going to say what I have to say, and it doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings, which again, Scorpio can do that from time to time. Nothing wrong with it, right? It's just part of the game. But if that's not an energy you're setting in, I mean, Spirit could just be saying, like, all right, Scorpio, there's something you need to take a cold, hard look at, or something you need to be very pragmatic and serious about. So we're going to let her chill there. I don't want to piss her off. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was actually pretty nice. The reading was titled An Unexpected Win. So I hope you had one. And I always say wins come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Sometimes it could be monetary. Sometimes you have a couple of good days. Sometimes it's career related or the people that we're connected to. So it to me felt like a turnaround of something, or something that does a quick 180, like a sudden stroke of good luck. So just know if that didn't happen yet, that energy could bleed over for a couple of weeks. It was good energy that kind of popped in out of the blue. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else. All right, let's get it going. 3 cards for Scorpio gang. Yeah, I really liked it. We definitely had the Wheel of Fortune last week. Okay. Okay. 8 of Cups in position number 1. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Don't mind me chuckling here. It's not a bad card. It is an action card. I do see it in a neutral way. But let me just keep going here. Oh, yeah. All right. Ace of Swords, 8 of Cups. All right. The Scorpio tolerance for BS is going to be very, very minimal over the next week or so. Could already tell you that. 8 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. I know Scorpio normally doesn't take much BS, but it's like extra minimal for some reason. We got the Ace of Wands. A lot of communication, a lot of talking, a lot of these archetypes. There is a softer energy that comes in to take the edge off. We do have the beautiful Empress here on the back end. But yeah, we're going to have to talk about this, Scorpio. It's already making me chuckle, and we didn't even get into the weeds yet. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements. It tells us how the energy is flowing or the areas of life that we could be looking at. We got water, air, fire, and then Venus energy over here. Nice mix. I always say when it's mixed in a good way, the energy is not too top heavy. It's not too lopsided. So these could be different areas of life, or it could just be an even balance. There is like this no BS undertone to the whole entire thing. But as far as the elements go, water, that's the Scorpio power zone, power element. It's the internal world, the realm of feelings and emotions, people or things that we care deeply for. It could also be creativity and artistic sides. I like cups, obviously, for obvious reasons, right? Now, the downside to water energy, it's always ebbing and flowing. It's always up and down and back and forth. You can't always predict it. But I mean, it's great for expression. And especially with the cards we have coming up, there's this good energy about speaking one's piece that I'm seeing here in a very big way. But water isn't uncharted territory for Scorpio. In the center, we have air. This energy is a little more flighty than Scorpio usually likes. Now, when it comes to air, it could represent the thoughts, the logical, pragmatic mind, big for communication. It's the suit of communication as well. The downside to air, it could be a little flighty, right? It's here one second, gone the next. It could also be cold and detached. So, like you see, there's always this little give and take. Then we have fire. So you combine the fire and air right back here. That's something we need to keep an eye on. But fire is the realm of action, the actions we take, where it's like, I don't just talk about it, I will take action about it. Like it's not all words. So if I say something, you better believe what I say. See, I'm already getting into the messages before we even get in there. But fire is about the actions. Okay. It's good. It's passion, drive, desire, motivation. It's an amped up type of energy. But the downside is that it can get a little out of hand. Then we have Venus, which is all about pleasurable vibes. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we got the Eight of Cups. And the reason I chuckled when it came out is because we had the Queen of Swords, which was very no nonsense. Then the Eight of Cups right after it, which is also very no nonsense, in my opinion. Now, the classical definition, a lot of people see this card, they think it's a bad thing. I don't necessarily think so. To me, it's more so just action, neutral action. Either I'm walking away from something or I'm heading towards another. But in context, combined with all this other stuff, Eight of Cups sometimes can represent walking away from something or giving up on it. And that's why I've been saying, like, the patience level could be thin, especially with the Eight of Cups, where it's like, screw it. Yeah, those are Eight Cups. Yeah, that's nice, but screw it. I'm going to go over here. Like, that's the vibe. Now, we're going to take the neutral approach and see what action this is. Is it your action? Is it somebody else's? We will see. The person is going off into mystery. So, like, there's a certain spontaneousness to this as well. So, we'll take a look. The big downside to the Eight of Cups, sometimes it can represent abandoning something, giving up on something, or feeling those feelings like you have been left behind. Now, moving to the center, we have the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth. If you read cards or watched other readers, a lot of readers call it the Sword of Truth. Now, I love aces. All aces represent offers and opportunities to me. They represent new, fresh energy. So, whether it's new ideas, new approaches, there's a freshness and a big potential. The downside to all aces is that it's never guaranteed. So it's an energy where, like, yeah, there's a lot of potential, but there's no 100% guarantee that something's going to go down. They all do tie into communication as well, speaking, talking, messages, especially the Ace of Swords from the communication suit. So could it be a conversation or a talk or message of some kind? Sure. Normally, this is straightforward, honest, and to the point. Sometimes the Ace of Swords can cut things away. So you see the combination, the Eight of Cups and the Ace of Swords. It's like, okay, do a little spring cleaning. So I'm not sure what you're trying to trim up or what you're trying to cut away. I mean, that could be very possible. The downside to the Ace of Swords is that it can be mean. It can be very serious and show up during serious things or events. But as you can see, we have this low tolerance. Now, on the back end, we have the Ace of Wands amped up. So a lot of the things I was saying about the Ace of Swords, the offers, the opportunities, the talks, conversations, that all plays here. But this is more about someone's internal energy levels, and it's running hot. So for some Scorpios, maybe it's something you're excited about. Maybe it's something that makes you feel hot and heavy for whatever reason, whether that's good or bad. At the same time, it's uncontrollable. right? Like when I see the Ace of Wands, it's an energy where it's like I'm acting on impulse, or I'm acting before thinking. Especially with the Ace of Swords right next to it, the fire air combination, we do have this little touch of explosive energy here. So we do want to watch out with the Ace of Wands, because to me it's like somebody acting on instinct, where it's like I'm just acting and reacting. It's like I didn't even think it through. I'm just doing it. Now on the back end, we do have a softer energy, which thank goodness it did show up, because all this energy has had an edge to it. But we have the Empress, beautiful, nurturing, loving, caring. As I mentioned, it's Libra, it's Taurus, Venus energy, very enjoyable. So it could speak about things that you find pleasure in, whether it's thought processes or activities. Like I love the Empress, blessings and abundance, and she's an energy that cares deeply. So this does take the edge off a little bit, but we got a lot happening here, Scorpio. I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Scorpio gang. What's happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Eight of Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Eight of Cups time. What is this? Eight of, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So we got double eights. Interesting. Watch for sign synchronicities and omens in this time, because we have two sets of repeating. We got like the repeating ones. Now we got the repeating eights. Now the Eight of Pentacles, I'm telling you, there's like this low tolerance. It's here. So if you're normally a very patient individual, like it feels much thinner. If you're normally an impatient individual, this is razor thin, right? Because when I see the Eight of Pentacles, it's something where I'm working, right? You see, hey, I'm working here. This person's at their bench, they're building pentacles, putting effort in, putting effort in, putting effort in. When it's in reverse, underneath the Eight of Cups, it's like, yeah, screw this. I don't have the energy for this. So there could be certain things that either you're getting very tired of, or spirit could be saying, like, hey, maybe you should budget your attention and intention a little bit better. Maybe there are certain things where you might want to not invest as much energy into it as you normally do. Now, again, I'm not here to sling advice and just pontificate all day and tell people what to do. That's not me. But Eight of Cups, Eight of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, yeah, screw this. Again, I don't have the patience right now. I don't have the time for it. It's just giving me that kind of energy. So we're going to keep moving forward. Let's see what's up with the Ace of Swords. There could be certain things, behaviors, people that you're just getting tired of. I'm just going to say it in plain English. I'll do that for the Scorpio readings. No need to fluff it up here, right? But let's go in on the Ace of Swords. Why is the Ace of Swords here? Yep. Scorpio, what's going on? All right. Five of Swords underneath this Ace of Swords. This is mean. This is mean. Now, again, no judgment here. If you said some mean things to someone said some mean things to you, that they might come to regret it. I am not too pleased with this energy here in the center. So the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth with the Five of Swords in the upright, is very, very aggressive, very straightforward. It's like I'm purposely trying to say something to dig the knife in and twist it. So maybe this action would be better than this. Like if there's a choice where it's like I can address this, I can confront this, or I could just stop giving it attention, I would choose this one, where it's like I'm just going to starve it as opposed to feed it. There's something like that going on, or that could arise in this time, where it's like I could either starve it of my attention or I could feed it. This is a talk, but not a nice one. Like again, with the fire and air, it could be very explosive. It feels mean. It feels angry. I don't want to say it's vindictive, but it's just super aggressive, super aggressive. Now, for some Scorpios out there, I know we have a big thing about being misunderstood, where people taking our words out of context. So, like when I see the Ace of Swords and the Five of Swords, it's like, all right, I'm going to say this thing so you do not take it out of context, but it comes off harsher than it was meant, if that makes sense. So, again, I'm not saying it's you, it could be somebody else, where it's like they're it's just upsetting. It is. I'm just being honest with you. The energy I'm picking up here, it's like it's mean, it's upsetting, feels like a conflict. Well, let's keep going. So, yeah, big warning here around communication. So let's go in on the Ace of Wands. Communication or lack thereof, right? I feel neutral about it. I have the Six of Cups in reverse. So, sometimes you'll like give someone a pass where it's like, okay, well, you said that thing or you did that thing. I'm going to give you one more shot here. I'm going to give you a pass. That's how this feels. I know I'm getting very specific with these, so again, only take it how it hits for you. Six of Cups in reverse underneath the Ace of Wands could represent a return of some kind or having to touch base on something again. So if you have any unfinished situations, unresolved situations, that could be it on the back end or something returning, which I've seen for a few other signs sprinkled in. However, this is also like, all right, you definitely crossed the line. You definitely pressed over a boundary, but I'm going to give you a pass one time. It's giving me that kind of energy. Like I'm going to give you one more pass. I don't know why it's coming through so specific. So the Six of Cups could represent soul ties, soul connections, people that are very near and dear to our heart, people that we have a lot of history with. So maybe it's on the strength of that alone, where it's like, listen, for the love of our mother, I give you a pass, or just something like that, like you see in movies. Uh, yeah, I'm not a big fan, Scorpio. So hermit mode might be the best mode for this week, unless you have to. I get it. Like I know how life is. Sometimes you have to talk to people. Sometimes there are things you need to address. I totally get it. But there's like this explosive energy around communication. Now, the Ace of Wands, Six of Cups in reverse, giving someone a pass, that does indicate that maybe it doesn't go too far. But it definitely ruffles my feathers. I could tell you that. So I would watch the energy around communication here. I mean, or if you've already given somebody a pass, like that's another thing. Ace of Wands, Six of Cups in reverse. It's like, I already gave you a shot. I already gave you a chance, and you showed me. So I know we're getting hyper specific. Let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. Um, yeah, there is this low tolerance for BS. There is this energy that there's warnings here this week, and there's like this energy in the front with the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, where it's like, screw this. Like, I don't have the energy for this. So I'm not saying you're going to totally give up on something, but it does feel like I'm realigning where I put my effort. Where it's like, all right, well, maybe there's something that I shouldn't put as much effort into or as much attention into. It's like I'm starving it. In the center, we have the Ace of Swords with the Five of Swords, where it's like, all right, well, you could either starve it or you could address it head on. But it seems like there's pushback. And to me, it feels like I'm trying to put something in context so people can't twist my words and twist what I mean, but it comes off harsher than I meant it to. There's like this energy around communication that I'm a little anxious about. I'm a little like, because it feels mean. It does. It feels mean. So maybe you're biting your tongue here. On the back end, I have the Ace of Wands and the Six of Cups. Sure, could this be something returning? Absolutely. Could this be some sort of unfinished business? Sure. But I feel like overall, there's like a blanket warning that's pretty important, especially when it comes to communication, because this is giving me flavors of something I saw 2 weeks ago. And that reading was titled A Serious Warning. This is very similar to what I saw 2 weeks ago, where there's like miscommunications and then there's an edge to it and it's like combative. So I'd stay in this mode if necessary, but please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they can be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, what do we got here? Thank you. Justice, big Libra vibes. So I like Justice. It's very karmic. It does talk about the scales balancing. That's usually the good thing. It's a big card of fairness and obviously karmic things, situations, karmic ties. And we don't need to take a whole field trip down that road about what karmic stuff represents. But we will talk of the shadow side of Justice. Sometimes Justice will show up as a shadow card when something or someone isn't being treated fairly. So for some Scorpios, I know that's a big pet peeve for a lot of Scorpios if you feel like someone is being unfair or unjust or their reaction doesn't line up with the action that preceded it. Like there's this energy where something is askew, there's something off balance, and you are not the bad guy for recognizing it. Keep that in mind. But justice to me can represent fairness. I also say watch out for anything you're putting your signature on, legal situations, legalities, taxes, you name it. If you're putting your signature on it, read the fine print when this shows up as a shadow card. But aside from that, it is your personal sense of justice that could be showing up or feeling like someone's being unfair. So keep that in mind over the next week or so. But Scorpio, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be 3, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop, mastermetaphysics.com, once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.